Hi, this is Justice with Tablet Pro, and I have here the Remarkable 2, and I'm actually really enjoying drawing on this tablet. Now, there's some caveats, some things that you need to know. This thing is ultra light, and I have a very bright room. This thing gets easier to read in the sun and brighter lights, so it's very much just like a regular paper sketchbook. So I'm using the Stylus by King Write. This one is $50. It has the eraser on the end. This eraser version, and it has a button on the side. This is an EMR stylus, which means it has actually really phenomenal line quality. It feels awesome on this, like enough to make someone who's been doing digital art for 20 something years like excited. So that's saying a lot. So this stylus, 50 bucks, and I think the marker plus from the Remarkable team is somewhere around $120. This has the features of both. This also works on some other devices that we'll talk about in another video. But $50 instead of 120 something. I'll put a link to this in the description. The Remarkable 2, I had a lot of questions in the beginning. Is this something that would be fun to draw on, or is it going to be super laggy? You're drawing and the line just slowly appears on the screen. Watch this. Ooh, so cool. Okay, so let's switch to a pencil, and let's just go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to go through what these tools are, how to use these, and how to work inside of layers and with the tools that are available. Okay, so we're going to do a quick sketch right down here. I want you to see how quickly and nicely this works. Now, as you're drawing, this has as close to exactly the same feeling as pencil on paper. It's got that little bit of grit on the tip where it feels like you're dragging a rock on stone. That's not the right. It feels like paper. It feels like a nice graphite pencil on a piece of drawing paper, not like a note, like a shiny or glossy paper. It's scratchy and lovely, just lovely. Okay, so 2-finger taps will do undo, which is very, very nice. You can actually pinch in. One of the things to keep in mind is that the image quality that you're seeing here does not translate to the export quality as far as I know. So I've had this device for about a week or so, week and a half now. Notice that there's right over here, the refresh on the screen is slow, which means you'll have some ghosting issues, but it lasts for a short period of time. This is not the fastest device, but it's still super, super fun to draw on. All right, so let's look at the different tools. We're going to go on to, actually, we'll go right here. So we have 2 layers. We have this top layer, which is mostly line work, and this bottom layer, which is mostly our shading. And you can do this a number of different ways. There's a number of different techniques for how to do this better. Notice how slow this is, by the way. Not the fastest device, for sure. Okay, so you can see here what this looks like. Let's go ahead and turn that layer back on. You can merge layers down, which is what this icon is. You can swap the position of the layers. You can delete. I'm not really sure what the new layer is. And something that actually was confusing to me for a while is the set to landscape, set to portrait option right here. Okay, so let's step out of this drawing. So there's a bunch of different images in here, and my daughter has some drawings in here which are very cute. Now if we want to make another image or swipe to the next image, we can just drag to the side. Let's actually stay here on this one, a white sea bass image, and we'll talk about the tools. Okay, so here we're going to click. We'll start with the ballpoint pen. The ballpoint pen has 3 sizes, and then it has 5 colors. So let's look at white. This looks like it's erasing. It is not erasing. And what I want to point out is that this is not a marker, so it's not going over the top and overlaying. This is filling in the actual color. Notice that we don't see any of the line work underneath. All of that is just covering over the top. Actually, you are seeing it over here, but is it a layer? Yeah, we're on the underside of a layer. So you can see it goes right over the top. Okay, let's merge these layers so we don't have that confusion. Merge down. Oh, and notice that we have this right here. This is white. And so we need to undo that. Okay, the next tool, this is Fine Liner. Again, we have multiple sizes. So just a quick idea of the size here. Oh, this is probably set to white. That's the thick line, medium line, and thin line. And as you're going through here, this stays a consistent width the entire time, so it doesn't taper in based on pressure, just a consistent width of line. And then we have these colors as well. Notice that this does the same thing here with the colors. It's not, it's going over, it's not slightly transparent. It's very opaque. Okay, and the other colors you will understand do exactly what we would expect. You can export this, and you can export this in color. The export quality, like I said, is not good at all. However, there's a couple different export options that I haven't experimented with that require a subscription, $2.99 subscription per month. You get 1 year of free subscription right in the beginning when you purchase this. Okay, this is the tool right here that I use all the time. The pencil. I love this one. It feels magical. I would like if they had a little bit better low pressure response, but as you can see here, I can ramp up and back down quite well. Most devices struggle with this side of the spectrum, going from light to heavy, back to light. This area, almost everything falls off. It doesn't do a good job of going back to light pressure afterwards. And I would say that's probably the #1 issue here. Like if I wanted to do really thin, quick strokes here, I can't do them as light as I would like. I'd like to be able to do just razor thin, very light lines for some very sketchy art, but we cannot do that yet, or can't do that well with this device. The undo levels are fairly good. I haven't run into an issue where I was trying to undo and I couldn't continue to undo. Okay, so pencil has a couple thicknesses. It does not have any colors. Mechanical pencil, this is basically just a sketchy looking pencil line that doesn't really have a lot of pressure response and doesn't vary in width based on pressure. And I should note right here, the eraser has a couple different modes. I can actually lasso select to erase, which is neat. This eraser is not very good. Just so you know, I use a different tool, and this was my big complaint on the device when I first started using it, is I couldn't erase properly, but then I realized I can just do white with precision using one of the other tools. Okay, so the highlighter, this one does have transparency. Notice that we're able to go over the top, and this has actually made some sections lighter. I'm on yellow, green, pink, and gray. This needs to be noted that gray will build So we're getting a progressively darker overlay. Now, if we do this with some of the other ones, I think this actually builds also, but no, it's if it does, it's very, very light. It's very hard to tell. I don't think that's building at all. I think just the gray builds, and you can see in the icon for it. All right, so if we look here at the icon, we look at the icon here, gray is actually split tone. The left is light and the right is dark. Snap to text, would I assume snap to text? I'm not going to demonstrate that because we're doing a drawing tutorial here. Okay, the marker. This is actually a very nice looking tool. The line varies based on pressure. Notice that this is an overlaying tool. It does not have any transparency in it. These different colors, just so we go through them. This gray does not build. Note you can't see through any of these. These are what the different colors look like. And so if you're actually making shading in different areas and you're doing this on a background layer, this gives you quite a bit of flexibility to create depth in your artwork. All right. And notice you can still see these lines, but that's while the screen is refreshing. It should refresh shortly. There's also thin to thick here, and just so you have an idea of what that looks like. This is lasso select. This is lasso select. So if I drew some lines, so let's do that with this paintbrush. Paintbrush I think should be really maybe renamed, but it has a little bit of that sketchy, lovely paintbrush look to it. But it's hard to think of a paintbrush being just strictly black and white. Okay, so let's pinch to zoom here and drag over so you can see what this looks like. You can see this nice brush mark. We may not be able to get further in. That might be as much zoom as we can do. Okay, so you can see it's got this. It is very paintbrush-like, just it being black makes it a little hard for me to think of it as a paintbrush. Okay, but we have multiple colors here. This is gray. This is white. And this is probably going to refresh. So let's go here, let it refresh so we get rid of some of this ghosting in the background. All right, and you can see how that overlaid. Here we're on the bottom layer, so if we were on the top layer, you wouldn't see these lines. It is an opaque tool. All right, let's delete those. And the very last one is calligraphy pen. Let's choose black. You can see how this works. Drops a couple little like dots in places. Some of the lines are fat, and it kind of alternates those. Pressure does make it fat. Like if you want to do very thin lines consistently, you can. Heavy pressure, and you get these nice thick blocky lines. Now, sometimes the device is a little slow or unresponsive. Overall, I don't find it annoying, although I would love for it to be quick. It'd be nice to have like a really high refresh rate device. But the thing is with this device, it is like days of battery life. Now, I think it said something like 2 weeks of battery, and I don't know how much they're using it for, but just is definitely not the amount that like heavy usage. Okay, so here, if you zoom in and you tap up here, it goes back to 1%. You can zoom out further and again tap. If you tap right here, the whole screen disappears, all of the UI hides, and you can just use that tool. Which is actually quite nice. I do wish here with the tools that you could splay them out and just quickly go, instead of going into a menu to get here, to be able to just tap and do that. That would be a nice addition. So let's do a little tiny bit of drawing. We're just going to look at what layer we're on. We're on layer 2. Let's go to layer 1. So the top layer, we're going to, with a pencil, I'm going to draw. And I find that these lines are extremely clean. They feel like what my hand is actually doing. Like some other devices, you'll draw and you feel like it starts and stops drawing before you touch, like it's a little bit funky. This feels like exactly what I'm doing is showing up underneath, like right underneath the tip of the pen. Now this stylus comes with multiple replacement nibs. I did accidentally drop and break one of these, and so it was drawing while hovering. I dropped it onto the tip from a couple feet up. Not something that you can drop easily. This stylus does not use a battery, and this button does not do anything on this device. It will on other devices though. Now here's the eraser. If I want to erase really precisely, it does not allow for super precise erasing. Sometimes it includes further than the line that you were trying to erase. So it's hard to be precise, which is why I recommend taking one of these other tools, like here, and then using this to draw your erase marks. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to finish this. We're just going to make this round, and let's use a marker to add our shadows. We're going to use gray. The marker also doesn't have variable widths, which means that if you're wanting to do something and create some depth, this is going to be a little bit hard to do with precision, which is why you may end up going over here and fake erasing, which works just fine. I don't have any issue with that. And you see there's a little bit, again, of that ghosting here because it's actually not refreshed yet in the background. So latency-wise, this is super, super nice. I'm a huge fan of how it feels. Every once in a while it takes a little bit longer to get a response drawing, but almost all the time it feels very responsive. All right, and then again, you can go in here and use the white on some of these other ones to come in and draw in some different parts to the design. All right, so I'm putting white down. Now if I take this tool, actually I can select this. Let's do that again. Notice that there's white in here, but I can move this around. I can cut, I can paste, and I can convert into text if I had handwritten something. Notice that that's moved and is looking fine, but there's a little bit of anomaly down here. We don't know what that's from. If you want a tutorial or you have some questions, this thing is magic outdoors. It is just phenomenal to use. It feels so good. And it's extremely, extremely light and super, super thin. So no battery, so you never have to worry about the battery dying in this thing. This battery, I like charge it once a week and and use it for quite a while. I'm not sure how long exactly, but you won't be running out really quickly, especially not in a single day if you're charging. It does charge extremely slowly. So if you're wanting to charge from 0 to 100 and expect to do that in half an hour or in an hour or two, it will take you longer, even with a fast charger. I don't think that that is a function that this tablet has. All right, you guys, if you have any questions, put that in the comment section. If there's something that you want to see me do with this device, also put that in the comment section, and I'll look forward to reading those and responding. And if you like content like this that's about drawing in different places, I love outdoor drawing, and it is such a difficult thing to do with many, many different types of devices. So this one is really cool. All right, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, stay creative and have a wonderful day.